Hello Libra, thank you for tuning into my channel, International Tarot. This is my second round of these videos for each sign. I did my first in November, so if this is your second time watching, welcome back. If it's your first time, I just want to let you know that in each video, I do two readings. I first do your love reading for the month, and then I also do a general reading. And sometimes the concepts and ideas from the love readings do carry over into the generals, if that's kind of a prominent thing that you're going through that month. So just want to let you know, sometimes you actually get like two different love readings. So not always, but once in a while that happens. So, okay, I have been shuffling these cards for a while, and I'm going to just do a couple more, and then we'll go ahead and draw for Libra, December 2015 love readings. Libra, December 2015. Good. That was a bad shuffle. Okay, one more and then I think we'll be good. Okay, there we go. Okay, so Libra, December 2015 love reading. Here we go. Ace of Cups, High Priestess, Star, Strength, your Knight of Wands, your Five of Swords, your Three of Swords, your Six of Pentacles, and the World. Okay, Libra, here we go. I'm seeing some good things for you this month. I feel as though there is an external energy in your life. Perhaps someone that you have been dreaming about or hoping about, or exerting a little bit of energy towards. He's being represented in the very center of this reading here by the Knight of Wands. So likely a fire sign, Sagittarius, Leo, Aries. Doesn't have to be. But this person is, kind of a magical energy, very adventurous, very go-lucky, a little bit difficult to keep up with this person. And very fast-moving, a little bit hasty, a little bit, kind of jumps the gun a lot of times, but smart, but still kind of displays that more adolescent type of energy, that more youthful mentality. And I feel as though perhaps there maybe have been some bad habits or some bad patterns, because that card is right next to your Five of Swords, which could mean, in a dating scenario, for me, this card often represents, like a lot of dating, especially when it's with a Knight of Wands, or a Knight of Cups even. Someone that's very going out and just having a good time. Might be maybe even a little bit older sometimes, that really haven't, taken that next step to sort of settle down. And they're just enjoying their lifestyle. They're enjoying the way they're living their life. But this could also mean, so it can apply to them in that regard. If this is someone new coming into your life, or if it is a partner or someone that you have a connection with, or that you're dating or are married to, it could mean that there are patterns in your relationship, things that keep recurring, maybe because either you or they are sort of unwilling to, like, just stop doing it, because it does take willpower, and that, you know, you do have your strength here. It does take willpower to stop those toxic behaviors that we all do. You know, we all have certain things in our life, certain addictions and whatnot. And, you know, so it could apply to them and their lifestyle, or it could apply to you as well, Libra. I'm feeling that these bad habits and these patterns could be that maybe you are a little bit too interested in them, maybe. I'm sorry, it's morning time. I'm having my morning coffee while I'm doing this, so please bear with me. I even kind of see, you know, that this, as looking at it as your energy, you know, you are even, you know, he's kind of off doing his own thing, frolicking, whatever, and you are paying attention to him. You are looking at him. You have your energy geared towards him. And I say him, but it could be male or female. I'm just saying him because it's a night. But you are putting energy towards his energy. And that in and of itself could be a bad habit. It could be a bad habit that's been going on for quite some time. Although I'm not necessarily feeling that this person is, you know, not interested in you. In the top row, you have some very magical cards here. You have your Ace of Cups, your High Priestess, and you have your Star. And your Ace of Cups is often indicative of like a new love coming into your life, or a new emotional opportunity, something that you care about, you know, some new creative aspect, or something that comes into your life that is potentially emotionally fulfilling. It has that potential. And it may come, and oftentimes these come, you know, in an obvious way. You know, it's something that hits us kind of hard. It's something that is verbalized by another person, or, you know, you receive some sort of message or news. You know, I'm not seeing any pages or anything here, but it is something that we want and that we are hoping for, which is great because we have the Star, which is indicative of your hopes and dreams, and you know, making that wish and putting it out into the universe, and you know, it's also indicative of it coming true. And in the center of both of these, you have your High Priestess, which is that intuition, that still quiet voice that, you know, speaks to us in a very discreet manner. You know, it's that following your gut and not asking questions, you know, not asking why, and not, and just having faith that that's the right thing to do. So with you having, you know, these energy, you know, this Star for some reason always makes me think of that one song that's like, you know, if we could think of airplanes as shooting stars, I could make a wish right now. Like, it's totally that type of concept. Just make a wish, and like, it will come to fruition, you know. So if you are interested in this person and he or they are just kind of off sort of gallivanting and, you know, adventuring and traveling, and, you know, this could be some kind of a world traveler. It's a really lovely energy. You know, it's very attractive, very social. People want to be around this person, so it's very natural for you to want a deeper connection with them. But, you know, you've probably been displaying a lot of, like, willpower towards them. You know, it's possible you haven't necessarily been so honest with them about the way you feel. You've been kind of keeping a lot in your mind, and displaying a level of strength in that, you know, you don't want to be too needy. You don't want to come off as like, you know, you don't want to be that person that's a stage 5 clinger, you know, even though you kind of wish that he knew or they knew that you felt that way about them. And during this, or they have probably caused you some level of emotional heartache. You do have your Three of Swords here, and it's directly in line with that, Ace of Cups and that strength, and because of you staying strong, it's, maybe a little bit hurtful that maybe this is someone that you just feel that just doesn't make sense for you. You know, this is the type of person that's maybe a little more non-committal, a little bit flighty, and those people are difficult to get to commit. And if you're in a relationship, and if whether or not your partner is a fire sign, but if they are displaying these types of behaviors, maybe you have a big decision. Maybe you're talking about moving to a new city and starting up new careers, and this person is like, well, they're not making decisions one way or another. They're trying to stay unattached. Or if you're talking about getting married, if you've been in a long-term relationship and the next step is getting married, they might freak out a little bit, and that's something that you've been holding off because that might be their reaction, that willpower, that internal strength. As much as you want it, as much as you want to communicate the way you feel about it to them, they you're just maybe so fearful of their reaction and that you might lose. It's kind of like trying to hang on to a handful of water. Like you're afraid that you might lose them by trying to move it forward. But at the same time, by not talking about those things and not moving in that same direction and maybe not being on that same page, that is a toxic pattern. That's a toxic behavior that happens all the time in relationships. And those things are what cause this sorrow and grief. If you feel sad that this person just isn't necessarily willing to listen to you or willing to take your needs into account, this person is giving, and they are giving, and they are like the best friends that you can ever have. They're very loyal people, but also very selfish at the same time. It's kind of like a 6-1, half a dozen. You have that behavior of them looking out for their self-interests. And these are people that can disappear out of your life very, very quickly. They are so focused on their mission and what they're doing. And like I said, their lifestyle, that if you kind of make a wrong move or if you do something to scare them off, they can disappear very, very quickly. And I can see that is maybe your hang up. You have these hopes and dreams and these ideas about what your relationship could be. And maybe they are kind of coming into that place like, okay, maybe, let's say, for example, this might be someone that you're just starting to date or someone that you're just starting to get to know, and they kind of bring something to the table like, okay, yeah, maybe we can move into the next phase. But there is that still quiet part of you, that is the element of the Ace of Cups and the stars, your hopes and dreams. But there is still that small voice that says, well, this could be the cause of a lot of heartbreak. This could be, I'm on shaky ground with this person a little bit, and it might not be the best thing for me, but, you like this person and it does feel good, and it is something that, you feel has a lot of potential. So maybe it is something you do move forward with, or you continue along this pattern with. I do see some element of balancing the scales a little bit, and that's with the Six of Pentacles. This isn't necessarily the Justice card or Judgment card, but it is, a degree of give and take, a degree of, when you need something, you need to ask for it. And when you have something and someone asks, then you need to give. And this person is a very giving energy. Um, I don't see, any reason why they would really shut you out or disappear. I feel as though there is that reciprocity that you are craving so much, and that reciprocity that really would help you break these bad habits or become victorious over them. This Five of Swords is like a victory card. It is, getting over those things um, and conquering those things that are sort of plaguing us. And that's a good thing, So if, this speaks to you and that this is your energy and you are just constantly, you're interested in them, but you're not necessarily engaging with them in a way that lets them know how you feel or something like that. That in and of itself is a bad pattern. So by becoming victorious over that, there may be some degree of a conversation even, or of a scenario where you kind of let them know, hey, this is my page. Do you want to get on the same page with me? And I feel that it will be a good thing for you. At the very end of the reading, you have your world, which is that sense of completion, that sense of coming together, that sense of all the loose ends sort of tying up. This is the end of the journey for you, for the Fool in the tarot. And it is where all understanding comes full circle, you have all the information to make the decisions. And even sometimes I feel that the world could be indicative of travel as well. Hold on just one second. Come here, baby. Let her eat. Come on. My dog's trying to bug my other animals. I do feel that this card, it can indicate travel as well. I'm sorry, let me turn this off for a second while I take care of this. Okay, sorry about that. So travel. And this is a very adventurous type of energy, so it's possible that they might be willing to invite you along and bring you into his world, bring you into everything that he or she, again, I say he because it's a knight, but everything that they have going on for them. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. I kind of feel that maybe that's something that you might want or that you might be interested in. Yeah. I do feel that they are causing you some heartbreak. They are causing you to feel sad, and I don't think they're doing it intentionally. It's not on purpose. They don't even know that they're doing it. It's just kind of something that you're doing to yourself, and it's because of lack of communication. Or this Strength card is showing up here, and this willpower that you are displaying, this internal strength, this whatever have you, you might be putting it to the wrong. You're not putting it to good use. You're using it to work against yourself. You're using it to maybe not appear like a stage 5 clinger, to not appear like a nag, to not appear like, you kind of are walking, kind of are walking on thin ice a little bit with them, because you know that they are flighty and that they could disappear. They're kind of good at that. But at the same time, by doing that, you are causing hurt for yourself, by not knowing what they're thinking and not knowing how they're feeling. Sometimes that just causes ourselves to hurt, and you might not have any idea. You might have all your hopes and dreams come true. You might have everything you wanted, a blossoming blossoming new phase in your relationship, or a commitment of some kind. Um, and if you feel in your intuition, in your gut, if you feel that there is something significant there or something special with this person, but you're I kind of actually am seeing these cards almost as opposite in this reading, which is interesting. I don't normally see that with these two when they come up, but it's almost as though this is your higher self, the all-knowing self that you need to really be quiet to tune into. And this is telling you that there is a connection, that there is something there. But then this willpower, this strength that you have is sort of saying, well, I need to hold off, otherwise this person is going to behave in a certain way. But yet you still feel that there's just something really, really special. Okay, I'm going to pull the last card for you. One more. Okay. This one. Okay, your Six of Swords. So, I mean, it's in progression right after your Five. So you have your Five and your Six of Swords. A lot of times this card does go very well with the High Priestess as well, because this is sort of the, conscious contemplation of new things. This is a spiritual journey. It's a quiet path that maybe you're on. Sometimes it can indicate travel, which I'm kind of getting that vibe here with you, with the World, Knight of Wands, the World, and the Six of Swords. Travel over maybe some small body of water, a river, or could even mean an ocean, but an ocean is a big body of water. But so there is that element to it. But again, still, you are on an emotional journey through this. This is kind of an internal battle. It's conquering toxic patterns and getting those bad behaviors out of your life, while sort of mending a sore heart, something that's not right, that feels bad. And sometimes it takes, when you come out of those bad patterns, those lessons and those new behaviors that you're working on are the things that you bring with you. They're in the ship with you. They're the life lessons and the life experiences and the knowledge that you have acquired that you take on with you to become a better person. And this path is sort of an examination and bringing to light the things that you feel in your heart, the things that you feel in your gut, the things that make you take a strong, take an action towards something that you feel is right. And there may be an element of travel for you here. And sometimes when we travel, whether it's on vacation, there is actually almost every sign. I think I've pulled a card that could indicate some sort of social event or travel. And it is the holiday season. There are a lot of gatherings, there are a lot of trips and, going places. And, you're bringing in the new year. And when we sort of remove ourselves from those day-to-day operations, our daily lives, the mundane things that we do, and we do get out of the element and experience, even within the United States, different cultures, um, and see how other people live their lives, it often does put things in perspective for us. It does, make us rethink and reevaluate and reassess the things that we've been doing and our situations at that time. So that could be a prominent energy for you this month as well. So I don't think I missed anything. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn off the camera. I'm going to shuffle these cards for several minutes, and then I'll turn it back on and we'll do your general reading. Okay, Libra. Here we go for your general reading. Like I said, I've been shuffling these for several minutes. Sometimes I shuffle a little bit overboard. So, here we go. All right, one more and then we'll be good for the Libra general reading for December 2015. Okay. Sure. Okay. Your Three of Wands, King of Pentacles, Ten of Cups, the Lovers, the Page of Wands, the Eight of Cups, Three of Swords, the Five of Swords again, and your Two of Cups. Okay, so what's so fascinating about doing the love reading and immediately following them with a general reading is just that somehow, sometimes, not always, not with all the signs this month, but a couple of the signs I felt like I've dealt the exact same reading twice in a row. And that's kind of how I feel with this one. I pulled two of the exact same cards, the Three of Swords and the Five of Swords. And you have your Page of Wands in the very center, which is right where we had the Knight of Wands before. And you have cards that reinforce past concepts. And even here you have your King of Pentacles where the High Priestess was, and the Lovers where the Strength was. And yeah, it's so fascinating how this happens. So there will be new concepts in this reading, but it is going to be a very love-focused reading. So essentially you're going to be getting two love readings this month. So love and this person, this Page of Wands, so he's even sort of degrading a little bit. This person is very prominent in your life. It's something that is garnishing a lot of your attention. So, immediately, the Page of Wands, there is this fire-like energy in your life. There is someone there, and that concept is being reinforced. And again, if it is not necessarily in a love capacity, it could be a friendship or a family member. The love readings carry on into so many different areas of your life. And I'm going to read this as a romantic relationship just because it is the love reading. But, you might need to expand your mind. And if it doesn't speak to you on that level, there may be someone else in your life that this pertains to. You, Libra, are being represented here by this King of Pentacles. Your King of Pentacles, of a very strong personality. You know, this actually is more likely to be an earth sign. You're not an earth sign, but you might be displaying some of those qualities. You know, maybe you're being a little bit more methodical, a little bit more practical than maybe you normally are. You are a little bit more reserved and a little more in control of your world, of your kingdom, of your emotions. You know, these aren't, you know, it's not a King of Cups. It's not someone that's so overtly emotional. It's, you know, King of Pentacles. It is someone a little bit more practical. So maybe you aren't completely opening your heart at this point. But I'm seeing the Ten of Cups and the Lovers here. And they're sort of like came all four, one right after another. You know, let me hold these up for you in order so you can see. And the Ten of Cups and the Lovers are sandwiched between the two energies, you and them. And I mean, we all know the Lover's card is that soulmate quality attraction, that soulmate connection that we have with someone. It's such a intense, passionate affair. It's like true love. And you have the Ten of Cups, which is the ultimate in emotional fulfillment. It is, without a doubt, the best of the best. It's the highest you can go. It's in representing, you know, complete satisfaction and happiness. It oftentimes represents family and being married and having babies. And it's, you know, between the two of you. It's, you know, it's what you both are maybe displaying a little bit. However, I feel that you both are feeling this. You both might recognize the potential in this connection. You know, if this is someone that you are just starting to date, you both recognize the potential. And you see them more as a potential. They see you as someone a little bit more grown up, a little bit more mature. I mean, they were a knight before and now it's a page. They might be feeling a little like they just know that you're more put together than them. And they think of themselves even as a page, even though they might have a lot going on for them. You know, this has nothing to do with their finances or their career or anything. It's just kind of their mental state that they are like little boys and girls. They're a little bit immature. They don't quite, you know, have that level of commitment, whereas you are sitting at king status and they see that. I mean, how can you not see that? They see that you are a tremendous potential for them, but they just like accept kind of where they are, and they just sort of feel a little bit subpar. Even if that's not the case, it's just kind of the way that they are perceiving things, and maybe even the way that you're perceiving things. You know, as a king, you can look at someone and say, well, they're kind of a mess. You know, you really, really like them, but they are kind of a mess. There are those red flags there. So, you know, you both see the potential that you could have with this person, but you are still also very aware of your differences and the differences in your mindset and the differences of the places where you are in your life. You are in different places. Now, two cards here the Three of Wands, and the Eight of Cups. This is the card of opportunity. It's standing at the edge of the world as you know it and looking out into unexplored territory. It is the birth of something new. You know, the Three of Wands. The threes are sort of ruled by the Empress, which is, you know, that new beginning, that inception of something new. And it can also, again, mean travel. So I do see a lot of travel in your cards. There might be something travel toward this person, travel to a social event for the holidays, in which case, you know, a lot of times opportunities arise out of those types of situations. So you have that, and you have your Eight of Cups, which I kind of wanted to point out before. And this card, for some reason, or not for some reason, this card is indicative of some level of sacrifice. I don't necessarily like the word sacrifice, but it is that, you know, internal sense of seeking more. That you leave things behind, you give up things in your life, you turn your back on them, not in a bad way, but you make a conscious decision to leave in order to seek something greater, in order to seek something more. Now, you have the same two sword cards that popped up before. This one is in the exact same position. And again, even though this card was here before, and now it's on the other side. So it's important that these two are connected, that they are married to one another for you this month. And it is that breaking of bad habits, becoming victorious over those bad habits, and also that level of sorrow. I feel very strongly that this person, while you may feel this intense soulmate quality connection with them, whether it is your partner and you feel that way towards them and they feel that way toward you, or if this is a potential partner, someone new that comes into your life, they feel that way about you, you feel that way about them. But because of the differences and because of the quality and the stature of your mentalities, you may just be feeling like it's just not going to work. Regardless of the potential outcome, there may be some sadness on your part, just because you recognize how different you actually are and the different stages that you are both in your life. And it goes twofold. It is also possible that regardless of you being aware of these differences and regardless of you kind of feeling in your heart, and again, that's kind of the High Priestess coming back, that kind of idea, that you might feel in your heart that there is just some disconnection there, I feel as though you're going to take a chance anyway. And that's kind of that behavior. You know, here you are in two separate scenarios, leaving the things that are familiar to you, leaving the things that you hold true to your heart, the things that you've worked toward, the things that you've built, leaving the things that are familiar to you to embark upon a new, unexplored adventure, something that you've never done before. Now, this could mean, again, with the travel, that you travel to them, that you approach them, that you make yourself more available to them. Or it could mean that, now I don't see this as you leaving them or you leaving them behind. I see it more that you're just seeking something new. You know, maybe you are in an existing partnership, you are in an existing relationship, and there is someone new that kind of comes in and has this potential where you have a very, very strong connection with. And so you do leave your current situation in order to pursue this. And then that causes, you know, this sorrow, this heartbreak. And any time that we leave things behind, any time that we take a leap of faith into something new, there will always be that level of sadness that comes along with it, you know. It's hard not to feel sad about things that might not, that maybe were good. No one's saying that these things aren't good. But we're taking that chance. We're leaving things behind in order to seek out more. And if you're in that relationship, current relationship, and you leave someone behind in order to pursue someone else in hopes of greater things, you know, breakups are always hard. Breakups break our heart, you know, and if we have to hurt someone else, then that makes us hurt and feel sad as well. So there's a whole bunch of ways that you can kind of spin that. And, you know, again, that victory, that element of victory over the bad habits, the victory over the things that are kind of maybe toxic in our life. And I see you moving on from those things, you moving on from those recurring behaviors that we were doing. Now, I see some sort of peaceful resolution at the end of this with your Two of Cups. A meeting of the minds, a successful communication, successful negotiation, a coming to terms, reaching some level of balance. You know, it's a 2, that's the common theme of the level of balance. And you may be having a successful communication with this person and coming to grips with the situation, and you both kind of maybe even things out a little bit, and you speak of the things that you feel and they speak of the things that they feel, and there is that maybe a mutual decision to move forward. There is one more thing that's kind of speaking to me. I see, you can always see different scenarios with these cards. It's really a very fascinating thing. Now, I was kind of struggling through that last description, not because it was difficult to read, but because I was also seeing it as a totally separate scenario as well. So I'm going to give you both, and just to, you're going to need to make up your mind what makes the most sense for you, because I do see it going both ways. So in addition to it also, meaning that you are leaving things behind and you are leaving, good blessings to maybe pursue this person, that there is this new opportunity, this new connection with them that you could be pursuing, can also mean that despite your connection with them and your potential happiness and your potential soulmate quality, lasting love. Despite that because of these behaviors that maybe you both are displaying, that you both are guilty of, these are directly in line with both of your energies. So it could be that you both have these. And even similar to the last reading, you could be feeling a certain way about them, and they could be just kind of, they have their own life going on, their own lifestyle. And that, so your bad behavior is more geared toward that, like longing for them, and their bad behavior is more geared toward like their lifestyle, going out, dating, partying, whatever it is. And there may be a level that you decide that you're just not on the same page, that you're not. And so you decide to potentially leave that because maybe it's really just not good for you. It's just not right for you. Not to backtrack on my initial reading, but sometimes you can see them going both ways. You can see multiple scenarios with these cards. Sometimes one will make more sense than the other. And you may decide that despite the potential of the happiness, that you are just so different at this point in time that you need to move on and seek something else. And that this situation, you just maybe don't really seeing it work out that way, which causes this heartbreak here. That this heartbreak is geared toward them and not you leaving things behind. But even still, a peaceful resolution at the end, a peaceful remaining friends, a peaceful, let's stay in touch. I want one thing, you want another. We don't connect, we don't match. And that mutual understanding that you are on different pages, you are in different phases of your life. You probably a little bit more evolved than them. And that could be it's a totally different interpretation, and I'm sorry for that, but sometimes it can really just go either way. So I'm going to pull an outcome card. Maybe it will help to reinforce the situation. Or, I'm sorry, to reinforce some of the concepts. Okay, one more. Your High Priestess again. So just, it's simple. There's a follow your gut aspect to this. A follow your heart. You will need to be still. You will need to be quiet. You will need to maybe rest your mind in order to really hear it. I gave you two possible scenarios for all of this, and it is a matter of like what you feel. And I think that it's more up to you to like actually take action, because this Page of Wands is so in their world, so focused on, they're so focused on what they're doing. You know, like he's looking up, he has his head on his projects, on his world, on his goals, his ambitions. You know, he's the one, he or she, they're the ones that are maybe not aware so much of all of this, even though they feel, you know, they're people, they feel things and they think things through. However, they're so focused on their lifestyle and the way that they're living their lives that they might just not be aware of kind of what's going on, or kind of the potential of what could happen, and the level of happiness that you could bring them. You know, you bring it for each other, but they just might not really be thinking along those lines at all. So it is up to you. It's always up to us to listen to our hearts and follow our gut. If our gut is saying that this really is that person, and you're going to make the sacrifices to make that relationship happen, to make that soulmate level connection a real thing, do you need to move? Do you need to change locations? Do you need to leave things behind? Do you need to break some hearts? Or just because you are so different, do you need to pursue new opportunities? Do you need to focus on new things? Do you need to leave them behind and move on to find new things? Now, two totally different scenarios, two totally different options. I feel either way you would be happy. It's kind of like, you know, there's no, I mean, which one's the best one, right or left? You know, well, right is right and left is left, and there's two different pathways in front of you, and each one might not necessarily be better than the other. They're just different. And I feel like that's kind of the scenario or the situation here. So you really need to just decide what your heart really wants and what your heart is really telling you. So, very strong reading for you this month, Libra. Very, very strong. Very love-focused month for you. Not all the signs have so much love in their stars, but you definitely do, and you have some decisions to make, it sounds like. So, again, I put my contact information in the description box down below. If you have any questions or concerns, please feel free to reach out, or if you want your own personal reading, I'd be more than happy to do that for you. And please just stay in touch, and thank you for viewing and for your subscriptions, and I will see you next month. Thanks.